Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We are playing Blade and Sorcery, as you can probably tell. It's on the Nomad version here. We're on the Quest 2 port. Always a great one to go to, and you can actually go outside and play this game. It's really fun if you haven't tried it. Watch out for trees and stuff. Anyway, hope you're doing well wherever you are today, whether it is day or night. Are you about to tell a story about something that, well, it kind of impacted my life a little bit, but not in the way you might think, so stick around for that. So, let's see. It is a good day for murder. We are in the marketplace today, and we are playing survival mode. That is where 3 weapons come out. I get my choice of them, and then I commit many felonies with the people that come out, including chopping them up. So today we have our burial... wow, brain day. Burial sword. We have our spear and shield. And we have, what is this? A little huntsman's knife. I think we'll start things off with the burial sword. It just sounds cool. I've started another round with this before, and it's questionable, but we'll give it another try here today. All right, let's see. Who is my first victim of the day? First traditional slow motion kill of the day. Let's see if we can do something kind of, I don't know, at least mildly spectacular for this. I mean, it did make it so they can bury her, that's for sure. Okay, with that over with. All right, so what did I want to talk... Oh, wow. This thing has gotten significantly better. Okay, but what I want to talk about today... Are they... They're like disposable Bic lighters today. What's going on? Anyway, what I want to talk about today is a program that I think... Oh my god. Gross. It's a program that I think that they still have in schools, and it was really big when I was growing up, and it's the D.A.R.E program. Yeah. Now, you might have it in your school, like I said. It's an interesting sort of concept because, well, if you're not familiar with it, if it's not there for some reason, I'm sure they have some sort of anti-drug campaign thing that they do, but it used to be called D.A.R.E. And it was like D.A.R.E to keep kids off drugs, right? And it was this program that was implemented by the government, and they ended up, going to schools with it and having presentations and like little, mascots and stuff. And you'd see that sweeping red logo that said D.A.R.E on it, right? And you'd see people wearing those t-shirts. These days, they're probably wearing them more ironically than anything else. And so we had these things. So is this program designed to, they tell kids that drugs are bad. Say no to drugs. And boy, was that a thing, right? Say no to drugs was a campaign that came up with in the Reagan years here in America. And it was so prevalent that, you'd go to an arcade. Remember those? You go to an arcade, and there would be, on the games, they would have the splash screens, like the little screens in between showing you how the gameplay demos are. And one of them that would always come by on, the popular games, like Ninja Turtles and, Streets of Rage and stuff, was one that said, say no to drugs. And it was this, what was it, a big FBI or DEA, symbol that was in the middle? Let's see if I can find that one. Yeah, let's see, right there. Imagine walking into an arcade, you're there with your friends, and maybe, oh no, and maybe you might have, smoked a doob or something earlier. Nice sword, by the way. Good job. And so you're walking in, there's just FBI symbols everywhere. That would be a little daunting, but yeah, that's what we had to deal with in a lot of things like that. But then D.A.R.E was this program where, they'd come to your school, right? Or they'd set up, a table at some, fair somewhere in town. And they'd have all this cool merchandise, like t-shirts and hats and keychains and all those little tchotchke things that, everybody likes to have, the freebies when you go to, a fair or something, right? Oh, jeez, wow. And so they'd have all this marketing stuff. Oh, man. And the marketing stuff looked cool, and they would have cops that would come into the school, and they would talk to you about it, and they'd show, little, movies or something. And the movies, oh my god. They make fun of them now. They're like tropes now, where it's some kid that's standing at his locker, and another kid comes up, and he's like, hey, Billy, you want to go smoke some marijuana with me and my friends? And he's like... he's like, yeah, sure. And then like they'll freeze it, and like a narrator will come out and be like, Billy made a bad choice because he, that stuff. And it was just all cliche, horrible stuff. But then they'd get to the parts, some of them, where it was really exciting because they'd bring out the drug dog, right? They'd have like the canine unit, the one that's specially trained to sniff out the drugs. And they'd come out and they're like, oh, this is Roscoe. Roscoe is an everyday police dog. He responds in German. So they'd go, oh, Roscoe, Sieg Heis, whatever. I don't speak much German anymore, but like they'd give some command to the dog in German, and the dog would do something, and everyone would kind of ooh and ah. They'd usually train the dog to do something like, they'd sit up and beg or something like that. But then they'd have the dog, and they'd explain what the dog did. Oh, they're specially trained to sniff out drugs and stuff. And then they'd go around, they'd like, this is an example. And they'd go around and walk around the room, and they would, like, the drug dog. And this happened to me a couple times. I don't know if they still do this. This was in a more crazy time, right? Where they could get away with this stuff. The drug dog would be walking around with the cop, and all of a sudden he'd sit down next to one of the students. And the cop would go, and that's the sign that Roscoe uses when he's found something. And it's like, huh, that's really weird. And all the kids are looking at each other like, ooh, whatever kid it is. Let's say it's Billy in this school. And then he's like, oh, Billy, he sat down next to Billy. And then the cop will go, so what we would normally do is we would look in things. And they're like, Billy, do you mind if we look in your backpack? And of course Billy doesn't care, right? He might be a little nervous for yeah. Okay. I am Thor, God of Thunder. Anyway, so Billy might have a reason, but not, nothing special. And so, you like that? How about another? So they go, oh, let's look through your backpack, Billy. And they would be like, they'd pull out this big bag of marijuana from the kid's, like, bag. And, of course, oh, that was a cluster bleep right there. So, like, of course Billy freaks out because it's like, what the hell? Why is that in my book bag? Because the cops, what they would do is they would kind of slip it into one of the kids' bags, or they would put a bag with it, like a book bag next to the kid, so it looked like it was his, for the presentation. And so Billy would be freaking out. Like, it's not mine, it's not mine. And they would say, no, this is a demonstration. It's okay, Billy. Everyone give Billy a round of applause. So they would do that. But these days, I mean, could you imagine? Because it had to have been like, I had no frame of reference back then. But with recreational cannabis available in a lot of places, and I used to work as a bud tender, a med tender at a dispensary, so I have more frame of reference. It was probably, had to be a quarter pound or something like that. It was a lot, but like they couldn't bring that into a school these days. Oh, it's for a demonstration. They'd be like, I don't care. You're not bringing that in here. So this program, it was designed to, like, I don't know, just get you to not do drugs in the first place. So it was always say no to drugs, say no to drugs. If your friends are all going to go and smoke some whatever, or they're going to, drink some alcohol or smoke some cigarettes, it was always like, just say no. That's all you got to do. It's bad for you. It's no good. They'd show you. They probably still have these commercials, the ones where it's like the Anti-Marijuana Alliance or whatever. And these are ridiculous. Like, like they'll have, oh, that's Billy. He hasn't been the same since he started smoking marijuana. And it's like they show, Billy is literally a big sloth sitting on the couch. Right? Just, right? Oh, here comes Billy for dinner. And it just, comes shuffling in. Ow! That was not nice, lady. Hey, so you get this. Oh, you get this as a gift. Come here. There you go. One for you on the way by as a drive-by. Oh, no. So... they had these stupid commercials about, like, one was an animated drawing, and it's like, ooh, I'm Captain America. Hold on, I'll get to that in a little bit. Nope. Okay, so it's like this kid, oh wow, this kid like sitting there on his couch, and you know a dog walks up, and apparently the dog can talk because you know he's like, I don't like you since you're no fun since you started smoking marijuana. It's like, oh my god. So what is? Stop it. Oh. Anyway, so this sort of effort that they had was going towards just say no, like I said, and what they didn't do was tell you, you know, how to be responsible. They just showed you a bunch of drugs. They told you it was bad. Oh no, my Scottish broadsword right through her. But all they would do, wow, that hilt on that, that's weighted, huh? So they just tell you no instead of giving you responsible advice. It's the same thing as like those health programs. Like they used to have sex ed, right? The problem with the old versions of sex ed is it was just merely just say no, right? Just like abstinence. That's your only thing that you can do in order to be really safe. And so since they didn't educate anybody properly on it, you had, you know, the same rise in venereal diseases and pregnancies and everything. They had to, I'm sorry, lady. They had to completely change it so it turned it into, you know, here's how to be responsible with that sort of activity instead of like, you know, look, being realistic about understanding that people are going to try things, right? That's what's important here. And so when you... Ooh, Lego sword. I brought all the toys today. Lego sword is awesome, by the way. If you haven't installed this because you think it's silly, give it a try. This thing is badass. Anyway. So the idea is, you know, people are going to try stuff, okay? Including being intimate with each other, including doing drugs and drinking and all that stuff. And this is the concept that I've had for a long time. Now, I'm going to stop before I give you this concept and say, I do not condone or endorse. I'm not saying that anything's good or bad or whatever. Everyone makes their own choices. And whether you make a good choice or a bad choice, you have to live with the consequences of that choice, okay? Uncle Orpheus is going to tell you some life lessons, but no, seriously. All right? But when it comes to drugs, and that guy just tripped over the bench over here. Hey, clumsy. Have a Lego sword to the face, sir. Oh, he's still alive. Not for long. But, like, you know, my concept is this. And keep in mind, again, you make the choices that you make. You should not do anything that you don't want to do, and you should not make poor choices about those things. But, you know, that being said, I've always been under the impression, and I don't have kids, but if we did, you know, if we adopt or something at some point, I will always tell my kid, look, I understand that you're going to be curious about things, right? And when it comes to drugs, I would rather that a kid... that my son or daughter, when they're legal, of course, would sit down with me and smoke a joint instead of going out on the street, buying something random from somebody, and having it with a bunch of friends that I don't know. All right? So the idea is always that I would tell them, look, if you want to sit down and smoke a joint, you can do it here at the house. You know, I will make sure that we obtain things legally, that they're quality, that you know you're in a safe environment. I don't want you out doing stuff like that. Now, there are a lot of cool parents who do this sort of parenting. It's kind of like they let you be independent, but it's just in a controlled environment, or at least in a safer environment. Now, these are the kind of parents that like let you move into the you know, the pool house and turn it into a mini apartment. These are the ones that, you know, let you just go out and do whatever you want. These are the parents that get you a credit card, you know, things like that. And it's an interesting style of parenting because it allows you to let the kid know that they're making their own choices and those choices have consequences. Okay, so this is the sort of parenting. If I had kids, this would be the kind of parenting that I would do. And of course, you know, you're like, wow, Orpheus would be cool as a dad. Yeah, I probably would be. Except for the whole being crazy thing. But, so D.A.R.E kind of failed because they never gave kids the education to understand what to do if they did actually, you know. Because, okay, look, let's be honest. How many times have you been at a party and you've seen someone use those cliche lines that you get in those, oops, that was a weak one, in those videos or in those commercials, right? Or in whatever program you got educated in. And it was like, you know, you see someone come up, hey dude, you want to take a toke here? And he's like, no, I don't do that stuff. No, thank you, right? How many times have you seen that? It's usually like, nah, dude, I'm cool, right? Everyone makes their own choice about these things. So D.A.R.E completely boofed it because they never gave you the option of anything else. It was always just say no. Not, you know, here's more education about this. If you do happen to do a certain, you know, thing, this is what to look for. You know, the sort of videos that I did, like my one on LSD. That was an interesting video. I don't tell you not to do it. I don't tell you to do it. The idea is, like I said, not condoning or endorsing, but educating, right? I'm realistic. I'm pedantic here. Not pedantic. I'm pragmatic, right? I understand that people are going to do things. I'm not stupid. There's a reality. And so I go for videos where I educate. I educate people on these things. And so this, you know, program should focus on that. Now, does your school or did your school do anything like that? Or did they stick to that D.A.R.E program with the showmanship and the, you know, they would have songs and like have people come out and do skits and stuff. It was ridiculous. It was like, you know, mad, okay? Like Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Now, a great initiative, right? Great idea. But it just... You can't tell people just to not do something, or to tell them, here's the consequence, and they, you know, show them a smashed up car. Or have a day where people, you know, wear white makeup and black clothing, and you pretend that they died from a drunk driving accident over the weekend, okay? I get that stuff, okay? It's good to symbolize what might happen. But, look, honestly, can you say, into the bread... Can you say, honestly, that any of that has influenced your behavior? Okay. Can you honestly say that any of that has influenced your behavior at all? Okay. I still have my D.A.R.E t-shirts, man. I have a few of them. I have a few t-shirts that are probably older than some of you that have D.A.R.E on them. Nothing wrong with that. It was a cool initiative. Hey, it was flashy and stuff. But... I don't know, it's kind of like junk food for say no to drugs. It doesn't do anything, it doesn't really fill you up that much, and it's not really all that good for you, you know? So anyway, let me know in the comments if you go down there, let me know what kind of anti-drug sort of things you had in your schools. If you do them now, what kind of things do they make you sit through? Do they, like, I don't know, take you to a place where they have a bunch of people on drugs? I don't know. Anyway, that's my little blurb on D.A.R.E and the other anti-drug sort of things that I experienced. Tell me all about them here in those comments, and we'll see you in the next one. Take it easy. You know what? Treat yourself well because you deserve it. All right, see you later. Bye!